We're on. All right, so this is Mr. Deckard at Studio D Productions. As you see, I'm here to make the video I promised I would make after class today. And I want to show you very quickly and easily how you can perform that lesson that we did. I kind of fleshed out the instructions a little bit on the list, and hopefully there'll be no confusion. So with that, let's pop right into Illustrator, which I happen to have open. And of course, it's the old gold icon of the lighter gold letters AI. Once you get in here, you go to File and New. And then once the box pops open, well, I'll just do it for you. Let's just see what this looks like. So I'll go File and New. And then whatever this says, you want to have it probably be oriented this way right here. Just make sure it's on portrait. Hit OK. Boom. Now, we're going to hit L, or we can left click and hold on the shape button here and change to the Ellipse Tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a series of ellipses or circles, ovals if you prefer. There we go. Oh, you know what? Something's happening here. And this will happen to you if you're not careful. Did you notice that you don't see your line through here? Forgot to do something, but we can fix it. And this will happen to you, so I guess it's kind of good it did. I'm going to select everything here. The problem is right here. I have a fill color on, and I need to turn that off. Now in Flash, we'd already be done, and I'd have to start all over again. You don't have to here. When you see that sort of thing happening, click on your fill color right there, and it will pop this box up over here. And then all you have to do is hit your white box with the red line, and it's none, and look at that. We're all fixed. So it was an accident, but it's a good thing it happened. So I'm going to continue on with my drawing. And you see I hold my mouth a certain way when I do this. It's all in the way you hold your mouth. That's what my dad used to say when we'd go fishing. All in the way you hold your mouth. I'm going to do that and slide this over right like that. That's going to be his nose in the end. Now it does not have to be symmetrical, and it's not important at all if it is. I'm going to create a mouth and a chin, and now I need a head, so I'm going to just pull this out. I'm just doing it over here so that it makes more sense to me when I draw it. You can draw it anywhere you want, whatever feels comfortable to you. And then I'm going to draw an ear, and I'm just going to shortcut this by copying Control C, Control V, and I'm going to place it right there. And I'm going to place this right here-ish. There we go. That'll do. All right. Now, one of the things that can make this difficult is if you have a difficult time with the abstract thinking of seeing the lines that you want to keep and ignoring the ones you don't want to. But don't worry about that. You get better at it. Even if you don't see things right away, eventually when you do this enough, you kind of figure out, how to do it. And for those of you that are quick at this already, well, it's just all the easier. So we have our basic shape here. Now in Flash, if I did this, I could already just come in and start clipping lines. You can't do that here, because if I tried, say for instance, I want to get rid of this part, if I delete that, the whole thing goes. I don't want that, because it's not really bound yet. The thing is, in this program, when you see a blue box around anything at all, it means it's protected. It means you can't cut it. It's either all there or all off. So since nothing's actually touching anything, I need to kind of mash that down to a layer so that it is, so I can start deleting things. And the way you do that is you hit Control A, which will select everything, or you can take your mouse and draw a box around. Just make sure that the box you draw is outside of the shape. Then you go up to Object and Expand. All right, that's the first step. Now whatever this box says, just hit OK. Just keep going. Then you go to Object, Live Paint, and slide over to Make. Click that. Then go up to Object, Live Paint again, this time, Expand. Now that's twice we've expanded, isn't it? Remember that. We're going to go to Object, Ungroup, and then Object, Ungroup. See, every time you expanded, you group some stuff together. So we expanded twice, so we group things twice. Now, if we're going to delete lines, we have to ungroup it or it's protected. So we've ungrouped it twice to take care of that. Now, when I come in here and I clip that piece that I wanted to get rid of, backspace, there it is. And it's gone. And that's gone. And that's gone. And I'm going to get rid of the big lines first that I don't want to keep. You know, I'm going to keep that line right there. You know why? Kind of looks like a tongue, doesn't it? And I'm going to have to zoom in a bit. And well, I kind of like that. Now, see, I got a couple really tiny lines here, and I'm being picky. I want to make sure and sometimes you have to get in here real tight. Control plus to zoom in. It just bothers me because I know it's there. And now it's not. All right. So let's zoom out and have a look. If I wanted to color it, I can at this point in time. And I wanna, so I'm gonna. Here we go. So I'm gonna go up to Window like we did yesterday. Swatch Libraries. Color Books. Focal Tone. Now that's going to pop me up a palette box. I called it the big digital box of crayons. I'm going to pull this down so I can see all my crayons because I'm going to own kindergarten like a boss. I can spread it out a little bit wide too. Oh, and by the way, that's kind of in my camera, so I'll slide it over here in a second. I forget that my face is on the screen, and I have to be careful about where I put things. There we go. Now you can see the entire thing. All right, so that's pretty cool. Now, something that you forget to do sometimes is you'll hit K, and you'll pick a color, and you'll say, "Hey, why won't it fill?" You get this error message. When you see that, you know that your first selection has to be done, or your first color has to be done under selection. So I have to select everything first. Now I'm going to grab that color again, hit K, everything's still selected, and I got his eyes. Now I can grab my selection tool and click off, and it looks exactly the way it should. I'm going to go pink on the tongue here. Gotta have a pink tongue, right? Oh, you know what I did there? I forgot to hit K. Boom. That's not light enough pink. Let's go lighter. There we go. I like that. Now I'm going to grab some black to fill in this area. I don't have eyebrows yet, but I could put that on later. Now I'm going to show you something else that's kind of cool. This is a freebie. I'm going to go to Window, Swatch Libraries, and Skin Tones. Now you notice I have two different tabs here at this point in time. I could pull that off right here. Oops. Gotta be careful. Black arrow. I'm going to reduce this box because I don't need it to be so big. And the thing about Adobe Workspaces is you can customize them. And if I had a really complex project going on here and I wanted to try out a lot of different palettes, and there are tons. Look at this. Swatch Libraries. Look at all those options. And those options have options. See this? I mean, tons of options. So you're trying out some different palettes, and you kind of want to have everything out in the open. Because while I do imagery really well in my head, I don't do colors all that well in my head. And sometimes I need to see them in order to start to figure out what looks good or what I think will look good and what won't. All right, so anyway, I'm going to put some color on this fellow. I hit K. A little too sandy, isn't it? I'm going to go a little lighter on that. All right. Not bad. Not bad. So there's my guy. Obviously, I could add things to it. I could try to go for more realism. But, you know, as I said today, some people are really concerned they can't draw to the point that they're paralyzed. When you say, hey, look, today we're gonna draw. And it's a shame because drawing isn't what you think. Drawing is communication, and that is your ability to take whatever's in here and put it in there, in somebody else's head. And you do this in a visual way. So anything that you would draw, however high or low the realism level of it is, if it communicates what you're trying to communicate, if your message gets sent to the person, then you drew. That's what drawing is. And so don't be afraid of trying some different things out, because it doesn't have to be a perfect drawing. Mickey Mouse only has 3 fingers. That's his hand right there. So with that in mind, I think that pretty much sums it up. I am going to put my steps right here, and I'm leaving this up here for a second so that if later on you're doing this again and you forget a step, they are literally all listed there one by one. If you follow those steps, you should be fine, especially after I fixed Control A right there. I don't know why I put Alt A earlier. I was in a hurry, I think. So I think that pretty much does it. And with that, I'm going to close this up and want to remind you once again, this has been a Studio D production. I'm Mr. Deckard, and have a good night.